Hi and welcome to Bjergårds Mova. Today I'll introduce you to MR LaserCut. It's a small program for designing model buildings I've been developing for my own use, but I thought I might just as well release it into the wild in the vain hope that someone else might find it useful. You can use it for many types of buildings and any scale, but my main focus so far has been the early 1900s. You can install MR LaserCut from Microsoft Store. It's free, there are no commercials, no requirements for an account, no newsletters, and no nasties. I plan to make a small series of videos and we'll start it off now with a simple freelanced workshop. Data is stored in a database, so we start by making a database for our new building. Let's call it workshop. You can have many buildings in a database and you can make all the databases you want. So we have a database and we add a building. And we give that a very fancy name also. I plan to cut this in a 2mm MDF, so we set the base to 2mm. Then we add the ground floor and we add some walls. We want a rectangle and I don't know. This is scale 1:1. All measurements in the database are 1:1. So this will be 10 meters wide. Let's say 6 meters deep. That's enough for, let's say, a car to drive in and be serviced or something. So these are the 4 walls, and we can decide that this one is the front wall. And what I have in mind will require this to be a little taller than 3 meters, so we'll make it 4. And this is the back. Do it nicely. And I want this to be lower than the front. So 3 meters is probably okay for this. The 2 side walls I want to be slightly higher than the front wall. So let's say 4.5 meters for each of these. That'll give us something like this. And we can add a roof that runs from the front to the back. There. We can decide on the overhang of the roof afterwards. Let's go to the front and see what we want here. We definitely want brick. And probably a couple of workshop ports. Move that down to there. And add another one. And move that to, I don't know, 35, is that good enough? Maybe. And we want some nice arches above them. Maybe a window. This is 10 meters wide all in all, so let's say 6.5. A little more maybe. Just put a door in first. lift this one up a little so it's aligned with the door. Like that. And a little more to the right maybe. That's probably too much. Yeah. There. And at the back we probably want a door just opposite of this so you can walk straight through. That'll be in this side then. We want bricks here too. That to 500. Oops. Aha. I set the wall to 500 instead of the door. My mistake. Just move the door down to half a meter from the edge. Yeah. And add a window again. Like that. Then this wall, we also want brick. And this wall, brick. That's really it for a start. Let's export it. So we export to a folder here, a base folder. Under that, it'll have a name. There'll be a new folder for the workshop. We export in scale 187, that's HO. You can choose anything you want. We want the windows to stay in the walls when cutting. You could also have them loose. That means you could paint them separately and then glue them back in. Or you could have a totally separate file if you wanted the windows to be cut in a different material maybe. But we'll stick with having them stuck in the wall. There. Despite its name, MR LaserCut does not cut anything with a laser. I use Lightburn for that. Here's our front. Just move it down in the corner. Let's say something like that. And we want to cut this in MDF. Oh, this is an engrave, so we want to engrave this layer. Like that. And here's the rest of the front. We'll move that to the same position. There. And give it another layer. And this one will be the cut. Like that. You can see the different speeds and effects of the laser. I mostly use 100% laser, but the speed varies very much. So cut is significantly slower than the engrave, of course. Then we'll do the same with the rest. You can probably hear the exhaust running in the background. Use a Falcon 2 from Creality, works pretty well. Quiet again. Now 4 walls and a roof ready to paint. I won't bore you with my pathetic painting skills. There are so many other YouTubers that can do it better. So here's the finished result. Let me point out a few possible improvements. The doors, for instance, are thick as bank vault doors. Could benefit from being cut in a thinner material, maybe cut them twice and glue them back to back to get a pattern on both sides. One of the edges of the walls will always be without bricks at the moment. The same here, the laser cutter can't cut or engrave on both sides, so one side is blank. Engraving an extra wall on 1mm cardstock and gluing it on will solve that. I hope that was somewhat useful. Hope to see you again. Thanks for watching.